In the shadowy depths of the jungle, where whispered dangers lurk behind every leaf, a terrible scene unfolds, one that feels torn from the pages of some macabre fable. Here, amidst the veiled green, a jaguar lies marred by a grotesque horror, a ravenous beehive burrowed deep into the flesh of its flank. The wound is no ordinary injury, but a dark, festering cradle of buzzing torment. A living hell pulsating with the relentless hum of thousands of unyielding stingers. Flesh has given way to wax and venom. The skin erupted into a swollen, irregular mound of honeycomb cells, oozing a sickly sweet yet foul-smelling discharge that attracts even more of these buzzing marauders. The jaguar's fierce golden eyes, typically gleaming with stealth and power, now shimmer with weariness and pain as the infestation weaves its grim narrative of survival and decay. This sinister alliance between predator and parasite is as disturbing as it is remarkable. The bees, insects usually known for their industrious role in nature, have invaded their apex adversary, exploiting an opening, perhaps a minor scrape or puncture, transforming the jaguar's body into their doom-laden fortress. The hive cells stretch beneath jagged fur and torn muscle, hosting larvae. In the quiet corners of suburbia, where the sun casts a warm glow on manicured lawns and children play, a dark tale unfolds, one that intertwines the innocent joy of a dog with the sinister sting of nature's most industrious creatures. Meet Max, a golden retriever with a heart as big as his appetite for adventure. But today, Max's playful spirit is overshadowed by a horrific wound, a gruesome testament to the wrath of a beehive. As we delve into this unsettling story, prepare yourself for a journey that reveals the raw, unfiltered reality of nature's balance, a balance that can tip from beauty to brutality in the blink of an eye. Max, once a vibrant bundle of fur and energy, now lies in a state of distress, his body marred by a grotesque wound that resembles a battlefield. The source of his suffering? A swarm of bees, their tiny bodies buzzing with a ferocity that belies their size. The hive, nestled in the hollow of an old tree, had been disturbed, unleashing a torrent of stings that left Max reeling. Each sting, a venomous dart, injected toxins that caused his skin to swell and fester, transforming his once glorious coat into a patchwork of agony. The sight is enough to make even the strongest stomach churn, a gaping wound, oozing with a mixture of blood and pus, surrounded by angry red welts that tell a story of pain and betrayal. As we examine the wound more closely, we uncover the science behind this horrific infestation. Bees, while often celebrated for their role in pollination and honey production, can become aggressive when their home is threatened. The venom they inject contains a cocktail of proteins that can trigger severe allergic reactions in some animals, leading to swelling, pain, and in extreme cases, anaphylaxis. In Max's case, the sheer number of stings he endured has overwhelmed his body's defenses, resulting in a grotesque display of nature's darker side. The bees, in their frantic defense of the hive, have turned from harmless pollinators into agents of chaos, leaving Max to suffer the consequences of a momentary lapse in judgment. But the horror doesn't end with the wound itself. The aftermath of such an infestation can lead to a cascade of complications. Beneath the canopy of a scorching savanna, under the relentless glare of an unforgiving sun, there exists a strikingly macabre tableau, a mighty elephant bearing a gruesome testament to nature's unpredictable cruelty. Its skin, usually a fortress of strength, is ravaged and swollen, its surface ruptured and dripping with darkened pus and blood, the harrowing sight of an appalling beehive infestation. This is not the familiar image of majestic wilderness. It is instead a raw and disturbing portrait of decay, a battle zone against an unyielding swarm of relentless invaders. The elephant is marred by a festering hive, a labyrinth of wax and venom that has burrowed deep into its flesh, weaving a sinister network of destruction that festers with every breath. The hive, an unnatural tumor, erupts grotesquely from the elephant's side, an exoskeleton of hardened honeycomb entwined with limbs and muscles. The bees are not just a buzzing nuisance. They have staked their claim with brutal tenacity, injecting paralyzing venom and amplifying infection through their stings. The wounded tissue is swollen beyond recognition, with maggot-like larvae sometimes scuttling beneath the cracked skin, thriving in the fetid warmth of the elephant's failing defenses. As the hive expands, it draws nourishment from the elephant's blood and flesh, a living parasite that mocks the very strength and resilience of its once imposing host. Around this gruesome epicenter, a cloud of angry, stinging insects buzzes menacingly, promising agonizing torment with every encounter. The air itself thrums with a sickly sweet aroma of fermenting honey mixed with the fetid stench of bacterial decay. The phenomenon of bee infestation on an elephant is a dark biological irony. Elephants, some of the giants of the animal kingdom, are no strangers to insects. In fact, they live in an unspoken Dayton with many. But these bees, likely displaced or disrupted by environmental upheaval, have found a horrifying niche, transforming the elephant's own skin into a boiling cauldron of pain and parasite in the tangled shadows of the jungle, where sunlight barely kisses the dense, humid earth. A grotesque spectacle confronts the keen observer. A jaguar, majestic and terrifying in the way only apex predators can be, carries on its flank a hideous hive of writhing bees. This is no ordinary scar or injury. From the slick, torn flesh protrudes a living, breathing fortress of stinging insects, a bizarre and unsettling fusion of predator and parasite. How did this fearsome feline, the silent shadow of the wild, become host to an infestation so nightmarish? The answer plunges us deep into the unspoken horrors of nature's less-known interactions, and the relentless, sometimes cruel, intersections between two very different life forms. The jaguar's fur is matted with pus and dried blood, the flesh underneath a gruesome morass of swelling, blistering sores where the hive has embedded itself. As the bees buzz in a cacophonous swarm, their bodies gleam, a deadly army of tiny yellow and black soldiers that have constructed their nest inside the wound, their waxy honeycombs shimmering faintly under the canopy's sparse light. The sheer visual of this is unsettling, reminiscent of rot and decay given form. Every sting from these bees adds to the jaguar's torment, an endless agony it bears silently in an eerie dance of survival and suffering. The animal is caught in a cruel paradox, its power and vulnerability fused into one disturbing tableau. This is no simple jab from a single bee, but a full-blown infestation, a creeping horror that feeds on the jaguar's flesh as much as it inhabits it. Bee infestation on animals, though rare in large predators, is a phenomenon that arises under particular circumstances, but is almost always